Hey everybody, what's going on, guys? If you are catching this on a recording, you may not know who this is, but this is Michael Holmes. Just to give a quick announcement, right? My goal today is just to make sure that you guys have a complete understanding of the 243, right? And what you saw in the post is the four things, the four killers that we must always avoid, the four financial income killers, cash flow killers, purpose killers, destination killers, right? So we're going to talk about those four things that's going to drain your lifestyle, okay? If you don't do anything about it, right? We're going to talk about that coming up next. Hey, welcome back. And like we were talking about, we've got to hit the top four things that are draining. They're killing your income, killing your lifestyle, right? Because we are all wanting to do two things. We want to have a great current lifestyle and a great future lifestyle when we retire, when we no longer work, okay? So we all know these things, but if we don't get rid of these four things, then we're not going to be able to achieve the lifestyle we want. If we don't get rid of the four things right now, what's going to happen is we're not going to be able to live like we want to do right now. The children, even the children's children, are not going to be able to live like you would like them to, live, right? So what we want to do is we want to make sure that those are understanding. And then what I want to do first and foremost is just give a quick testimony, right? When I joined before Myecon, the biggest thing that I had to overcome was the how to buy a next house, right? How to get the over that hurdle, right? And then what happened was the market just crashed. The market just ended around 2009, 2010, caused me to lose a whole lot. Okay, but that's not the big picture because everybody has a story. The thing is, what you have to do is realize what I had to do is realize that income is not cash flow. Cash flow is not necessarily income. Okay, so what I had to do, and what that means is simply that the cash flow that I had was non-existent. I had a lot of income coming in, but at the same time I had a lot of debt. So if I had a lot of income coming in and the debt was zapping it, then there's no point of having a lot of income. So what I had to do is start to understand with these wealth strategies what it was to have cash flow. And cash flow is measured in time. Cash flow says that, hey, if I have $40,000, this $40,000 is going to last me 2 years. Okay, the $40,000 a year now has a cash flow of 2 times my income, right? So that's what you got to see, and that's what I had to understand. Which is the first thing is to plug up the holes that are stopping my cash flow. All right, and what I did was I plugged into this young gentleman that was had over cash flow already over $750,000. By the name of Terrence Hill, and they doing great things. And he's what I started to learn was that once again the cash flow will start to bring me income. Because everybody understands the principle of the wealth getting richer, right? The rich getting richer. Okay. The thing is, because when you have money, it allows you to create more money. But the lack of money costs you money. Okay. So what I want to do is show you a quick testimony of Mr. Hill and how he overcome.
I'm super excited about Myecon because of the freedom, the flexibility that it allowed for me and my family to have. Before Myecon, I was in the military and we had more month than we had money. After applying the strategies and using the system, we've been able to cash flow up to $700,000. I have retired without having to get a retirement job, and my wife is on the same path to retire within the next 2 years so we could just live our life on purpose and with our kids. That's why I'm excited about Myecon.
So as you can see, right, it's very simple decision for me to make. when I've already seen that Mr. Hill was already accomplishing the goals that I was wanting to accomplish, because I needed a way to secure my next steps. Not only did I know how to do or create income. That's everybody can go out there and hustle. Everybody can do something about creating income. So that's not the problem. The problem is when you create the income, what do you do then? Okay, do you have the four hurdles that we're going to talk about today? You right? Do you have those taken care of? Because you have to have a foundation. That foundation has to be built upon to where your holes are being plugged up. And what I mean by that, the first one is inflation. Okay, inflation itself, we already hear that term, but we don't understand exactly. Sometimes I didn't understand anyway. Okay, so inflation is simply saying that the cost of goods is rising, and the average cost of inflation is about 4 to 6% every couple of years. Just think about that. Right. So if it's 4 to 6% every couple of years, then what is it? Does your pay go up 4 to 6%? Does your 401k go up 4 to 6% every couple of years? So that in itself is saying that the money that you have is not keeping up with the rise of cost in goods of services. Okay. So that means that your money loses buying power. So although you're getting some increase, it's not increasing higher than inflation. So therefore, it's the silent income killer. It is zapping your income before you even know, before you even understand what has happened. Okay, so that's what you want to do to get yourself in front of inflation. Okay, so the next thing, the next biggest hurdle that comes up is income tax. Right, income tax, that we all understand and we all see what's happening. But the thing is, what do we do about it? Once again, why is it important to make sure that taxes are our better friend? Okay, so what does that mean, Mike? What it means is this: if you are a W-2 person, right, and you're working a quote unquote regular job, which is not a 1099, okay, so if you're a W-2 worker, that means they're taking your federal income tax is hitting for about 28 to 32% every time you get paid. 28 to 32%. Okay, so think about it this way: you're saying, Mike, well, I'm used to that. You used to robbing Peter to pay Paul, right? You used to it to do something to override that system, and it's not been working. Okay, and I say this simply because of the statistics that are out there, which says that about 83% of people in America can't put their hands on about $1,000, right, in a savings, because they're going from check to check. Not that they're not making the money; it's just that the cash flow isn't there. Okay, so once you think about your income taxes, and when you do a application for a job, let's say for instance a mortgage or something that you're trying to buy like a car, okay? When you do that application, what ends up happening is they're going to ask you for your gross income. You put down your gross income, and then they qualify you based upon that gross income. But what do you bring home? Do you bring home the gross income? Now, imagine this. How long could a business run if they were continually operating on the gross income, but they're only getting in the net? Don't you think that business will eventually run out of business? And that's what happens with us, because majority of the times that 30% is the biggest bill that we all have, but it's not accounted for. We say, hey, Mike, well, I get back that at the end of the year. Well, let's think about it. Do you get back 30% at the end of the year? Okay. So if you don't get back 30% that they're taking away, then it's not a good trade-off. So if it was possible for you to get that money right now, to use it to pay off debt, to use it to decrease your taxes, to use it to decrease your expenses, so that your cash flow could rise, so that you could do more with your money right now, don't you think that would be a better situation for you? That way you can start to cash flow and not have to worry about continually increasing your income when your cash flow has holes in it. So every time you start to increase your income and there are holes in the vase, then all that is happening is you're getting more water in or currency, but what's coming out of the bottom, right? Exactly. You got exactly the water coming out. So you got to plug up the holes. So we need the cash flow to be in place, right? So once that, what happens is, like we was talking about, the business will eventually go out of business if it continues to operate on the gross, but only be able to work on the net. Okay. So what ends up happening with us, we do the same. So we have to do what? We go into the third hurdle, which is debt. Okay. First and foremost, taxes have taken away 30% of your income. When that happens, you're working from January, February, March, April. Okay. Those 4 months of the year, you're working for the government. So when you first those you're only getting your income the 8 months. Okay. That doesn't come back to you. Okay. So we have to do what? We have to decrease the taxes so that we can increase the cash flow. Right. And then because we are in that position that they've taken away the 30%, right? Because they say, hey, you really don't know whether you're paying enough or you're paying too much or you're underpaying. So we're just going to take the 30%, and then if you qualify, we'll give you a portion of that back. Okay. Because that happens, you have to go into debt. That debt is what we call the curse, right? Because the debt comes when you have to overcome the hurdle of the income tax, because now you need the car, now you need the home, you need to replace the 30% that they're taking, but you are using in your budget the gross, but they're taking the 30%. So you have to replace the 30% by going into the different areas of debt. Okay. Debt has with it a penalty. The penalty is interest. It could be 0%, which is not likely majority of the times, all the way up to 25, 26, 30% or more. Okay. So what that happens is now the debt takes away the next 30% of your income. Because guess what you got to do? You got to pay that back. So what we end up saying is, hey, I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul, or I'm going from check to check. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to eliminate that, don't we? Because we want to be in a place to where we can have cushion, to where we can have emergency funds. Okay. And what an emergency fund is that able to us to have inconveniences instead of emergencies. So wouldn't it be nice if you had $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 in an emergency fund, and when something happens that it was a cost of $600, $700, right? Now that emergency, which could have been an emergency if you didn't have 600 or 700, now it's just an inconvenience because now you got to replenish your emergency fund. Okay, so how much better, how much more life or better lifestyle could you have if you had zero debt? If you had something outpacing inflation, if you had something to make sure that your taxes were decreased to where you can use them now. Okay, so that's what we want to do now. What happens is after we go through those things, okay, we see inflation, the silent income killer. We're outpacing inflation. Number two, the income taxes, 30%. Got that to a place where we've lowered that, right? So we're increasing our cash flow. And then number three, we get to a place of the debt, right? So now we've corrected the items that we have. We've gotten a little bit more cash flow. Now we're going to apply it to the debt. Okay. Now we apply the extra debt cash flow to the debt. Now we get even more cash flow. Okay. So what we got to do now is overcome number four. Number four is something that is against us all. Number four is something that is taking you down more than you can imagine. You see it every day. It inundates you. It hits you over the head, but it's totally hidden from what you could do about it, because it isn't something that we recognize regularly. Okay. And number four is big business. Big business has a way of making our wants feel like needs. to make them feel like something that we have to do. Okay, and I'm gonna give you a couple of situations where that's the case. Okay, so right now we're in September, right? So we just went through Labor Day. Okay, we had cookouts, we had celebrations, we had remembrances, those type of things. Okay, so there's a little bit of money spent there. Okay, and then we have October. October we have the November. I mean um, uh, Halloween, right? I don't know why I couldn't think of Halloween, but Halloween is something that a company will come in once 1 month out of the year. And what happens is they make their whole income throughout that process because our wants feel like something that we have to do. Okay. And then, of course, Thanksgiving is November. And then we go into December and there's Christmas. And then January, what do we have now? We have a restart. We have refresh, renew, right? So there's something we have to do. Join gyms, get the different clothes because we're going to fit into those clothes, okay? So then also now we are starting a good trek, right? A good journey. So now it's February. In February, we have Sweethearts Day. So definitely something you better do something for that significant other, okay? And then you have your March. We get into springtime, okay? Now it's something that now we're going to clean out. We're going to refresh, everything again. And then we got April. And it comes time for Easter. Of course, there are celebrations for that as well, okay? Then you go into May. And what happens in May? Mother's Day. That's definitely something where everybody has got to take care of. Then we get into June. June, some of us feel like we got to take care of Father's Day, but sometimes we don't. It just depends on what happens. Give them a nice tie, maybe put them on the grill or whatever, right? But hey, we're not going to go into that right now. And then we got July. And July, of course, is 4th of July. And we know what we do then. We celebrate independence. But whose freedom are we celebrating? If it's not your financial freedom, then what is that we're actually celebrating there, okay? And then what we do is go into August. August, we got kids going back to school, right? We got to get the clothes and everything like that. And it brings us right back to September, okay? It's always something for us to do, okay? So that's what we want to do. We want to overcome those hurdles, those obstacles that are in our life, okay? And when we're doing that, that helps us to increase our cash flow. Then we do things that we get the credit better. We understand business credit. Then we understand the right types of investments for our own investing education, which is best for us, right? All right. So now what I want to do is share with you the keys here so that you can see what you have as your number one asset, okay? And what that means is I'm going to show you now how we were saying that you want to increase your cash flow. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to visit the first step into increasing that cash flow, okay? And how we're going to do that, we're going to uncover something that majority of the people are not going to, really reveal this way, okay? Make sure I get to the right screen for everybody. Okay, that should be it there. And what we're going to reveal is how you're going to start your journey on your purpose. Okay, how you're going to start where you want to end up. Okay, because the biggest thing is, we get the second job, right? We get more education. We go to get our degrees or second degree or anything, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is that majority of the times we end up doing things that is outside of our purpose, what we are feeling led to do, right? And when we do that, it doesn't bring any joy. It just brings actually more income, which ends up bringing more trouble, okay? Because the cash flow potholes are not taken care of. So what I'm going to show you how to do is I'm going to show you how to find and how to implement already money. This is something that you can use in conjunction with the Uncle Sam to help you jumpstart your purpose, help you to get on start to your passion for life, okay? Because if we start that and we get your cash flow holes plugged up, And then you start to put your money in the right places, okay? So then it works for you, okay? This is not something about a pill, potion, lotion, wrap, or a tea, but it is about something to apply to your lifestyle to get you to where you want to be. So we're going to talk about already money and how you free that already money to go to work for you, okay? So on the left, you see that you have what I call, once again, already money. You're paying mortgages, you're paying utilities, you're paying your cell phone, right? There's mileage, there's meals and entertainment, internet, correct? Okay. So these things that we are already paying for, okay, already money, okay. So what we end up doing is saying, hey, let's shift some of this money back to you because it is your money, right? But the first thing that you got to understand is if you are a W 2 worker, that means that Uncle Sam says that, hey, you are quote unquote, don't know what to do with your income. So we're going to go ahead and save you by taking 30%, putting it to the side so that you know that your taxes are taken care of. Okay. Now, Uncle Sam himself says that, hey, of their self say that, hey, should probably be putting it away somewhere so that you can invest it or pay down debt or expenses. Okay. They tell you that over and over again, but they say that you may be using it as a forced savings method, which means that, hey, Mike, I don't want to, do X, Y, and Z because even though they're taking 30%, it comes back to me in a lump sum. It may not be the whole 30%, but it's in a lump sum and I'm unable to save. So what I'm going to show you how to do is to get that money back right now, each and every month, instead of waiting for the end of the year. Put it back, put it into a savings, pay off debt, so that you can make money with that money. Okay. So let's take a look at it. Your average mortgage, $1,000. Utilities 500, cell phone 100, and we're going to do the percentages because now I'm going to teach you how to be a home-based business owner. Okay, when you are a home-based business owner, it just simply means you're like, Mike, what is that? That means that you are running after your purpose. That's all that means. Your job, your business rather, your business is to increase your wealth and to track and manage your cash flow. That is your business. And so I'm going to show you how that business now will release Uncle Sam to saying, hey, since you have a business, you're able to use your money first. Okay. And then the money that you do pay out, you're going to get a portion of it back because it's been used for your business. Okay. So it's 20% in the middle there on the mortgage that yields $200 a month or $2,400 a year. Utilities, 500, 20%, and these are average percentages, okay? You have to see your CPA, okay, to know these, but we're going to use very small percentages, okay? Could be a little bit more, right? So utilities, 20%, $100, that's $1,200 a year, okay? Your cell phone at 85%, that's $85 because you're always on your cell phone, right? That's the way of the world right now. It's mobile, okay? So it's $1,020 a year. Mileage, let's say about 10,000 miles at 56 cents allows you to write that off or have a tax deduction of $5,600 for the year. Okay, so if you look through all of those things, meals and entertainment, okay, see, these are things that you're already doing, your internet service, something that you already have. So wouldn't it make sense to have the already money come back to you since that it is yours? Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So that ends up at total deductions of $12,020 now that can come back to you and your household, okay, instead of giving that away, okay. So now if you keep the 12,000, that means that you did not have to pay taxes on that 12,000, okay. So yet, therefore, you save 30%, which you would have paid on that 12,000. So that puts you at positive 3,600, which is 30% of the 12,000. So that puts you immediately at $3,600 in the positive. You see, so now you don't have to rob Peter to pay Paul. And that's just the beginning of things, okay? So now we're going to show you this. Just imagine if your friends or family, they knew this, you would hope that they would tell you, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to allow and say, hey, you can have referral income by showing other people that we exist. Just point them over to this way. There's not a pill, potion, lotion, wrap, or a tea, but something that can help them with their already money. Okay. And so therefore, let's say for instance, you create an extra just $200 a month, extra $200 a month, that produces $2,400 for the year in business income. Okay, so now your total earned is $6,000 for the year, each and every year. You've income shifted. You shifted that back to you and your household to where you can use that money right now. You can use that money to pay down debt. You can use that money to get yourself into a savings plan for your children's education, savings plan so that you can have the better Christmas if that's what you celebrate, right? So what you can do is you have this already right here, right now. Okay. Now another way that you may be able a year is it that you already have money. Okay, maybe you have an extra 600,000 sitting somewhere. Okay, and you can take that and get 1% interest, and you can have $6,000 a year. Okay, or another equivalent is 200,000 that you may have somewhere, and you can take this and put it into a 3% return, and that will create $6,000 a month, or $100,000 if you already have. You can put that somewhere and get 6%, but that's hard enough in itself because it's hard. The CDs, some of the 401ks, a lot of things are not doing well. Okay, so what I want to do is to show you that it's possible to create the $6,000. So you say, Mike, how much does it cost to start my business of tracking my wealth? This business of increasing my cash flow in order to take advantage of these things. Well, we're saying it's $29.95. Simple to access the software and the strategies that you need to make sure that you track your income, increase your wealth, to make sure that you're managing your cash flow. And $35 a month, which once again gives you another write-off. So now this is something else that you can write off at the end of the year. So if you compare the things together, right? Now you can create the extra $6,000 or more accordingly to your particular situation. We will even get together with you and create your own personalized cash flow plan so that you can see exactly what your numbers look like, where you want to be, right? And where you want to get to without worrying about us pushing upon you our purpose, our passion, or something like that. But let's get in there and find out how to do your things that you really want from life and find out how to use your already money, okay? Because your business now is your number one asset, which is you. The 6 inches between your two ears. That's the thing that is the best thing that you could ever, put to work, because nobody can take that from you, okay? So when you understand these things and you understand what to do, when to do, how to do, then you get to a place to where you're what we used to say Cadillacing, right? Everything is just working accordingly because you have everything according to plan. You know exactly where you want to be. I'm gonna leave you guys with this right here before you log off, right? I want you to think about this, okay? If you are going to retire, it doesn't matter how old you are. Doesn't matter what age are right now. If you're going to retire, the experts recommend that you have. I'm gonna give you the formula. Okay. Let's say, for instance, you want to live on $5,000 a month. Okay. You're acquainted. You're working right now, and you would like to live on $5,000 a month. How would you do that? How are you going to go about doing that? Are you going to hope that the investments that you really don't have a control over goes back down? If we have another COVID problem, are you going to leave that economy out there, your economy out there? Right. So if you want to retire on $5,000 a month, experts recommend this. That's going to be $60,000 a year, right? 5 times 12. So that's 5 times 12. That's $60,000 a year. They recommend that you multiply that by 10 to 15. and have that amount. Okay, so that's $60,000. Let's just do the minimum, multiplied by 10. So have $600,000 somewhere that is creating for you at least a minimum of 8% return at a year. That will give you $5,000 a year. Okay, but the thing is, we get to a point, and sometimes we think that money will last longer than it will. Okay, you have, let's say for instance, you have a couple $100,000. Okay, a couple $100,000, you want to live on $5,000 a month, and that couple $100,000 is not returning 8% a year. Okay, so now you're living on $5,000 a month, and you've saved a couple 100,000. Okay, you say, hey, I can pitch on that. I can live on that. So $5,000 a month, and you have other expenses, I'm sure, here or there. You want to go on vacation, whatsoever. Those things. So that's $60,000. How many times does $60,000 go into the 200 before it's gone? Okay, because that's a year. $60,000. That's a year. Okay, so you got saved 200, let's say 250,000. So that's about 4 years worth of income. The average and longer. It's about 15 to 20 years that now we have in retirement or longer. Okay, that's why so many people are in the Walmarts and in the McDonald's, have a retirement job after they have worked 20 or 30 years already. Okay, so I just wanted to drop that with you so you can see, how you can get to where you want to be, to see that it's not about selling something to get you to the next level. It's not about increasing the income to get you to the next level. It's about structuring your cash flow so that your cash flow can take you to the next level. Okay, you can float on your currency. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Once again, Mike Holmes at www.purposepursuer.com. If you ever want to know any more information or anything like that, please reach out. Somebody's sharing this video with you. Make sure you, reach back out to them and let them know that you would like to get your income shifted, okay? And if you're not, somebody did not refer, please text me 805-387-3639, right? And then somebody will get back right with you. Generally, it'll be myself. So, and we'll get you on the right track. Okay, guys, you have a good one. Be blessed. Peace.